Unfortunately, more and more people are going to find themselves in the situation where they suddenly don't have a job. I've talked about it before. Life more and more feels like musical chairs, where the music stops and you don't have a chair, and then it's hard to get back in the game. And it's easy to talk about it in this clinical fashion, but when it happens to you, it tends to feel devastating. So the first thing I'd say is, look, it's okay to acknowledge that you're feeling angry, you're feeling scared, anxious, hurt. And the first step is to spend time with people who love you, who will affirm you and make you feel that you're still okay and it's still going to be okay. I think the second one is to reframe this very painful situation in a positive way. It's very important to reframe it in a positive way and say, look, why is this happening? This is happening because the universe is nudging me to move on and to move on to something better and stop yearning for the past. Admiral Stockdale was a US Navy person who was a prisoner of war in the Vietnam War. And in the midst of all the horrors, he kept two feelings alive. One is acknowledging the brutal reality of the situation, but on the other hand, never abandoning hope and optimism that the future would bring something better. And so when you're in this miserable situation, whatever it is, losing a job, losing something, you have to both be a realist as well as an optimist. Now, in terms of the practical actions, you really have to focus on finding your ikigai. Ikigai is finding something which you're good at, which you love doing, and the world values and willing to pay for. Now, this sounds very neat conceptually. In practice, it's not always easy. It requires a fair amount of trial and error, experimentation, in order to gradually find something, some combination of work that really hits the sweet spot. And in my book, I've talked about how you actually conduct these experiments. And the final, most important thing is financial management. Money is both fuel as well as oxygen, and it's terrible if you run out of it. So what you need to do is manage your finances, bring down your burn rate, make sure your savings can stretch and last a while. So those perhaps are some useful tips.